I have a topic for us today, Eric, and I think it's a really good one. It's about looking back. We spend so much time focusing on the future, on what's next, setting goals, and planning our lives, that sometimes I think we forget to appreciate where we've come from. We're always in such a rush to get to the next thing. Taking a moment to reflect on the past can be incredibly grounding, you know? It helps us understand ourselves better and see how far we've come. It's not about living in the past, but appreciating the journey.
Looking back, I like that. I like that. Like nostalgia, memories. That's a topic that I think everyone can relate to. It's universal, isn't it? The feeling of warmth when you remember something from your childhood, a favorite song, or a place you used to go. It's a powerful emotion, and it shapes who we are today.
Exactly. Specifically, childhood memories and hometowns, the places where we grew up, the streets we used to play on, the friends we used to have. These memories are so vivid and important. They're the foundation of our personal history, the first chapter in our story. And talking about them is a great way to connect with others, too.
Oh, this is great. I love this topic. We can talk about, all the things that have changed and the things we remember. This is perfect for our listeners on Learn English Deep Talks. It gives them a chance to not only learn the language, but also to reflect on their own lives and experiences. It's a very personal and engaging way to learn.
I thought so. And it's also a great way to practice some specific English grammar. We're going to focus on using used to and would to talk about the past. These two are often confusing for English learners, but they are so useful for storytelling. By the end of this episode, our listeners will be able to talk about their own memories with more confidence and fluency.
Yes, absolutely. Used to and would are there essentially, for telling stories about the past. They add so much detail. I'm really, really excited to get into this.
Okay, let's start with used to. Can you break that down for everyone listening? Like, what does it really mean?
Of course, of course. So used to it's a fantastic phrase. We use it to talk about two main things from the past. First, habits or routines, things you did regularly, but, and this is a key part, you don't do them anymore.
Okay, a habit that stopped.
Exactly. For example, I can say, I used to play soccer every day after school. That means, in the past, playing soccer was my routine. But now I don't. Maybe I'm too busy or I play a different sport. The action is finished, you know?
That makes sense. So it's not just something you did once, but something you did over and over.
Right, over and over, a repeated action. And the second way we use it is for states or situations that were true in the past but are not true now. A state isn't an action, it's just a fact. Like, that building used to be a library. Now, it's a coffee shop. The state of the building has changed.
Oh, okay, I see. So it can be for actions and for situations. I used to live in a small apartment. That's the situation, right?
Perfect. That is a perfect example. You don't do living in an apartment, it's just how it was. And saying, I used to live in a small apartment tells everyone that now you live somewhere else, maybe a bigger house. It's a really, really useful way to show a contrast between the past and the present.
Okay, cool. What about questions? How do you ask a question with it?
Great question. For questions and negatives, use the auxiliary verb did. So the D from used disappears. It becomes use to. For a question, you'd say, did you used to play soccer, not used to?
Oh, right, because did already makes it past tense. So, did you used to live there?
You got it. And for negatives, it's the same thing. I didn't used to like vegetables, but now I love them. See? Didn't used to. Simple once you see the pattern, right?
Yeah, that's really clear. Tell me something you used to do in your hometown. Let's make it real.
Okay, so my hometown, there used to be this giant oak tree right in the middle of the man park. It was huge. We called it the climbing tree.
The climbing tree. I like that.
Yeah, it was the best. I used to go there almost every day after school with my friends. We used to see who could climb the highest. It was, our little challenge.
Is the tree still there?
No, it's not. That's the sad part. They took it down years ago to build a new playground, so the park is still there, but it used to have a different feeling, It used to be wilder. The new playground is nice, but it's just not the same.
I totally get that. So that's a state. It used to have a different feeling and an action. We used to climb it.
Exactly. See, you're a pro. And I used to think my town was the biggest place in the world. Of course, it's a very small town, but as a kid, that's just a belief I used to have. It's a past state of mind.
Okay, this brings me to my next question. What about would? I hear people use that for the past too. How is it different?
Yes, would. This is where it gets a little more specific. So would is also for repeated past actions or habits, just like used to. For example, I can say every day we would go to the park and climb that tree.
So we used to go and we would go, they mean the same thing.
In that sentence, yes, they are interchangeable. It's very common in storytelling to use would because it adds something that it sounds more nostalgic, a little more like a story, you know? Like, in the summers, my grandpa would take me fishing. It just paints a picture.
Okay, but there must be a catch.
There is, and it's a big one. You can only use would for repeated actions. You cannot use would for past states or situations. That's the most important rule.
Ah, okay. So, going back to your examples, I can't say that building would be a library.
Nope, that sounds very strange. Because being a library is a state, not an action. You have to say that building used to be a library. Similarly, I would have long hair is wrong. You must say I used to have long hair. So the easy way to remember is used to works for both actions and states. Would only works for actions.
That's a really good way to put it. So, if I'm not sure, used to is the safer choice.
It's absolutely the safer choice, but when you're telling a story and you're talking about all the things you did again and again, throwing in some woulds makes your English sound really, really natural and more descriptive. Okay, your turn. Tell me about a routine from your childhood. What's something you and your family would do?
Oh, let's see. Well, every Sunday morning, my dad would make pancakes. Always. It was a tradition. He would wake up super early and we would smell the batter from our rooms.
See, that's a perfect use of would. It was a repeated action every Sunday. You could say, my dad used to make pancakes, and it's correct. But would just adds that storytelling flavor. It sounds so warm.
Yeah, it was. And after breakfast, we'd all go for a walk in the woods behind our house. My sister and I would always try to find interesting rocks or leaves. My mom would point out different birds. It was just what we did.
That sounds lovely. All of those are repeated actions, so would works beautifully. Now tell me about the woods themselves. What were they like?
Well, the woods, they used to seem endless, like a huge forest, and there used to be a little stream running through it, but it's all dried up now.
And there it is. You switched to used to perfectly, because the woods seeming endless and a stream being there are states, not actions. You wouldn't say the woods would seem endless. That's a fantastic example of mixing them in one story.
Wow. Okay, that actually makes it all click in my head. So, to recap, for everyone listening to Learn English Deep Talks, used to is for past habits and past states or situations that are not true anymore.
Correct. The all-purpose tool for comparing the past to the present.
And would is for repeated past actions only, often to make a story sound more nostalgic, but never for states.
You've nailed it. That's everything you need to know. The best way to get comfortable is to practice. Think about your own childhood. What did you used to believe? Where did you used to live? And what would you do for fun in the summer?
That's great advice. It's been really fun to think about these memories. Thank you for listening to our channel. If you enjoyed this podcast style lesson, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. I do not forget, comment below.
So, to all our listeners, thank you for joining us on another episode. Keep practicing, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye, everyone.